Hello, Eves. So, recently, Trash Games has finally announced they are making a desert update, and it's still developmental right now, which means people can and players can still suggest ideas and stuff. Anyway, so, in these videos, I'm basically gonna be suggesting a butt ton of random crap that I think they could add in the desert update. So, like, subscribe, join the Discord, all that crap, and, let's start the video. In this video, we'll be talking about everyone's favorites, gadgets. Alright, so quick note before we begin the video, some of these items here are actually made by Trash Games themselves, and this is just how I would envision them, like concept art and their functions. So these aren't actually entirely made by me, and now let's get back to the video. Our first gadget here will be the boomerang. Alright, so well, obviously it's a boomerang. It's supposed to come back like your pet, so sort of like that. Come back now. See? And another thing that I expect they would add is damage to pillows, so it would work kind of like this. Return. And also, to be honest, it'd be really darn cool if the boomerang could bounce around walls like the missile sometimes. So, I'd be really excited to see that. Next up, we have pyro bombs, which honestly, I would assume are very similar to these radiation bombs right here. Now, my general idea here for the pyro bomb is that it works very, very similar to the radiation bomb. So, just like how the radiation bomb, please ignore my door, can destroy pillows, the pyro bomb should just all burn them down to the ground, and then, like, I guess there'd be, like, ashes there or something. Take a closer look, though. I don't know if you can see these, but there are these yellow particles in this area. And instead, basically, the pyro bombs would be orange. I'm not just gonna let all those particles go to waste, though. We gotta have them do something. So, I think we could add an effect called Afterburn. Basically, what Afterburn is if you walk into the area that had a pyro bomb detonated recently, then you will start taking damage. Also, instead of being radiated and getting super speed, you start taking insane amounts of damage and dying. So because of this, personally, I feel like pyro bombs are a great idea. Pyro grenades, not as much. Sorry about all the smoke, but our next item's actually going to be the dust bomb, so screw the smoke now. Alright, so as I implied before, this is a dust bomb, and it's going to be very similar to the smoke bomb. So, why get the dust bomb then if we already have the smoke bomb? Well, the main difference is the smoke bomb does this. On the other hand, I feel like this dust bomb should do this. And now notice how your screen has gone all brown and tinted and stuff, and it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, that's what the dust bomb does. And to stop the dust bomb from just being a straight up upgrade from the smoke bomb, I think the dust bomb should actually be semi-transparent. Next up, do you ever just think it's just way too dark in Yeeps? Well, sometimes that's a pretty big issue for me, especially since I've been handicapped with this thing called a younger sibling. So I propose here, the lantern. Basically, it's a Wild West lantern. Basically, it's holdable, it's equipable, and it lets you see in the dark. So, sounds like a pretty good item to me. Next one of my goofy goober ideas is the harmonica. You might think I'm kinda crazy for pulling out a trumpet, but, I'll explain soon. Alright, so basically the main idea of the harmonica and the war horn are very similar. It's just, you hold it up to your mouth, and it plays. The only difference is that the harmonica would The only difference is that the harmonica would work a bit more like this, where you put it up to your mouth, and move it left and right to change the pitch. Alright, so for our next gadget here, we actually have a thing very, very similar to this guy right here, the crossbow. And as you can see, it's the slingshot. Now, obviously, if it's very similar to the crossbow, why should you get the slingshot? Well, my main idea for the gimmick of the slingshot is that it's kind of like a mix between this guy right here, and let me pull him out. This guy right here. For those who don't know, this guy right here can launch anything. Missiles, arrows, snowballs, toy bombs, hot chocolate, your kid. And on the other hand, this guy can only launch a few things, like grenades, more grenades, smoke grenades, missiles. But it can't shoot a bunch of random objects like grapplers. For some reason, you can still launch your kid, though. Oh, well, this guy just kind of clipped into the wall here. Can you see him? So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that it can launch more things than the rocket launcher, but less than the crossbow. Of course, though, it still needs some funky gimmick just to make it a new item, so, items will bounce off of walls. Little first-person perspective here. Hello. So take a look at this. That blows up. Well, that also blows up the moment it hits the wall. And, you know, everything activates the moment it's fired. Either A from a crossbow or B from a rocket launcher. But basically, say if this were a slingshot and I shot that over there, it would bounce back to me. Say if I shot that grenade over there, it would bounce off the wall and hit that wall. So basically, this gives projectile weapons a whole new system and stuff to mess with, and I think it'd be really fun. Quick little reminder, like and subscribe, please. I want to hit 2K really badly. Anyways, and the last gadget we have here is the Firecracker. So, basically, the Firecracker is another grenade. When it comes out, its fuse is already set off. And when it's launched from a crossbow and it hits the ground, it blows up directly. What makes the Firecracker cool, though, is that it's a mix of this and this. It'll do some damage, but not as much as this guy. And it'll do some knockback, but not as much as this guy. It is insanely loud, though, so please cover your ears. And of course, like the other grenades, it can still bounce off of walls when shot from a slingshot. Anyways, and that's it for the Firecracker, and now moving on to our final idea, the gun jam rule. Field trip time! So what I mean by gun jam rule is that it's basically like another one of them thingies that look like this. It's basically another one of them red signs, except it says gun jam on it, and if it is ever in a map, then there's like a tiny chance that when you let go of this bad boy right here, nothing comes out. Anyways, so I think this would be a pretty darn cool thing to include, because, you know, guns weren't that good back then, and I don't do my research, so I don't actually know the chances of it misfiring, but something probably like that happened at least once in history, so I think we should include it. I just realized that I completely forgot about the revolver, but I'm pretty sure that's wanted enough to the point where I don't really have to talk about it, so let's get to the outro! Anyway, so, thanks for watching, likey, subscribey, join the Discord, that's in the description, and, see you next video. Goodbye!